Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David. I have a good time talking about the stock market, stock market, options market, income strategies, wealth strategies, anything about the financial markets is a great time to do. We do this every single week locally here in Atlanta, Denver, and Bloomington. And we have investing classes that we do locally at our academies here in Atlanta, Denver, and Bloomington. And we teach these are 2-hour investing classes to learn how the financial markets work, learn how price moves, learn how stock moves, and how to make smarter investing decisions. You can text right now. So get your phones ready. Text the word invest to the number 484848. When you do that, you're going to get a text right back with a link. Click that link. It's going to put you into a landing page to pick your own date for this investing class. We do these classes live on Saturdays during the week. We also do these on the weekends as well. And they're in the mornings and the afternoons and the evenings. So really a date can work for anybody. So make sure you pick a date. If you have a tough time, we'll also give you a call once we get that text and make sure that we do get the right date that works the best on your schedule, but also what you're looking to get out of this class so we can kind of cater these classes to the people coming in. So Al, the reason we talk about all these different strategies and these different accounts and these different assets is because there's different strokes for different folks is what they say. There's a different reason why you would use futures versus Forex or options versus stocks or all of them together. Now, you can even do that stuff in retirement accounts as well. So most people, and if you're listening right now, you're probably like, yeah, I have a 401k, I have an IRA, but I have a guy or I have a gal that manages it for me. Well, how are they doing right now? Think about that for a second. You had a stat the other week about, I think it was from Think Advisor, 57% of older people had a 10% or more negative return in 2021.
Right.
And that's actually when the S&P 500 was up 20%. So think
correct.
about what's happening this year. Markets to year to date are down roughly around 7% as of the recording in the show here today. So now that our listeners know that, okay, well, these buy and hope strategies, sometimes that's just a hope, right? And if, you see your family or your friends and they're like, I have to work forever because I just don't have enough. Now is the time to learn techniques and strategies within those retirement accounts to hopefully get to those golden years, which is that retirement year, that time that you want to be able to spend your time with your grandkids or do some traveling, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about self-directing retirement accounts and how to make smarter investing decisions within those IRAs and 401ks.
Yeah, you mentioned the fact that you could use the assets that we talked about in retirement. Typically in a 401k, you can't, but in a self-directed IRA, you can use options. You can use the futures market. You can use Forex. You can actually participate in the down market. You can protect your assets. Those things are hard to do in a 401k or 403b, but there is a better way for you to manage what you have access to. Yeah. And Josh kind of hit on this, though. That 401k, that 403b, you're paying fees to somebody who really, in most cases, is not giving you any advice. So you're actually the one managing those accounts. Using our core strategy and coming to these classes where we talk about dynamic 401k management, we can show you how you can use the market, how you can use a price chart to do a better job of managing what you have available, at least understand what you have in those accounts. Because my guess is that probably a good 60, 70% of the people that are listening have no idea what's in their 401ks. Yeah. They know there's something in there. They know they're putting money in every paycheck.
Well, think about it this way. How many times have you heard someone say, hey, I found this IRA somewhere. I didn't even know I had it. Well, so they're putting it to the wayside because they think, oh, that's a strategy that I'm going to let that go long term, and then you forget about it. I mean, if I think about it this way, how much money do you think is sitting out there in 401ks or IRAs where people that have no clue where they're at?
Well, they're trillions of dollars. And I think the figure that I saw was about $4 trillion in 401ks that are basically lost. They're sitting crazy out there, and people forget that they have them. And when you are still working, the returns that your 401k or your 403bs, whatever your plan sponsor or your employer sponsored plan is, part of that return is money you're putting in, and part of it is a return that your employer is putting in. It's not all return of the asset. In fact, most of the mutual funds and the assets that are available in those types of accounts have mediocre returns, but with high fees. And you're lucky if you get maybe 4 to 5% annualized over the course of your working years, but you're exposed at any point in time to anywhere from maybe a 40 to 60% drawdown because of bear markets or major corrections in the market.
Yeah, I just want to recap something because I think it's important. I want our listeners to understand that is you mentioned the contributions. So if an investor, and correct me if I'm wrong here, if an investor, let's just say on a year makes 20%, let's just throw as a number. Is all that gains in the market, or is that actually those contributions as well?
No, a lot of it's your contribution and your employer's contribution.
So think about that. If your money manager is getting you that, and you're putting in, if you're getting a match of 4% or something, or 6% on a 401k, are they really doing anything for you? That's why we're seeing so many people come to these investing classes to see what's out there. What are some different opportunities that you have? Because if you're contributing to a 401k, congratulations, that's awesome. But if you're not getting a lackluster return on it because the advisor's just letting it sit there, selling you mutual funds that cost a lot in fees, well, there might be a better way to do that. So these investing classes, you might be able to see what your options are, and that's what people want, Al. People want options. Yeah. So let's talk about that. I'm going to give a text here to text in for investing class tickets, but also some free stock picks that comes along with that. Text the word invest to the number 484848. You can receive 2 tickets plus those stock picks that comes in that financial quick start kit. Let's continue talking a little bit about fees, but we got about 2 minutes here to do this, Al. Let's talk about how to eliminate or at least lower those fees in those accounts.
Yeah, that's really key because the fees over the course of your working years can cost you 50 to 75% of what you could have when you retire. Think about that. If you're only ending up with maybe a half or even less than what you could have had, does that make a difference as to the lifestyle you live in retirement? So cutting out the fees is really huge. Just a 2% fee over the course of your lifetime, that could end up with that 50% loss. And part of it is every dollar that's being taken out in a fee is no longer there compounding for you. There's that magic of compounding. Every dollar that's taken out when you are younger could have ended up maybe being $10,000 or more when you retire. So cutting out the fees is important. One way you do that is to set up a self-directed IRA where you don't have any fees. Not only do you not have any fees, but you have access to higher return or higher potential return investments, both in an up market and a down market, and you can have protection. You can have what's essentially the same thing as an insurance policy on your retirement. If you think that the market's going to continue the way it is, and that's how the markets always function, you probably weren't in the market back in the 2000s, because from the year 2000 to the year 2009, it was a lost decade. You ended up losing money during that 10-year period. You know, and from 2009 up until now, the market has been on a tear.
It's been phenomenal for investors, really.
Yeah, but why is that? It's because the interest rates were lowered to zero. The Fed pumped trillions of dollars into the economy. What are they doing now?
What's changing?
The exact opposite. They're raising interest rates and they're lowering their balance sheet. So
Think
they're
about
doing
that.
the exact opposite in a situation where we have high inflation, we have unknown geopolitical things going on, in an overvalued market. All these things shouldn't scare you. These should just provide opportunities for you in a different way than maybe you have been used to. But that's what we do. We provide the education to show you how to do that.
That's key, Al. I'm glad you brought that up there at the end, that it's showing you the opportunities that you have. You know, if you're sitting there in a 401k or IRA and it's only a one-directional strategy.
That's correct. That's important to know.
Why not have different options or opportunities as markets go down? So that way it doesn't matter what happens. If the market goes down, great. We know the market goes up. We know the market goes down. Let it go up and down. Make smarter investing decisions that are designed for those different directions. And that's what I think a lot of listeners are looking for. We see people coming into these investing classes. A lot of people come to these classes in Atlanta, Georgia, in Denver, Colorado, and Bloomington, Minnesota, where we're doing these classes locally. And they're looking, how do I make smarter investing decisions? How can I minimize or lower fees? But how can I take advantage of these markets when they're volatile, but also going up and down? If you want to learn more about this, you have to come into one of these classes locally. These are physical classes that we're doing. Instructors teaching them. We have people coming in Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, and Bloomington, Minnesota. Call right now. So get your phone ready. I'm going to give you a phone number. But when you call in, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit that's going to include some free stock picks. Call right now. Call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466. Al, we have one more section to go here, and there's a couple things I want to get into. I want to inspire people to take action in their finances. I mean, we've had a lot of complacency over the past couple of years, and that's what's happened is they say it takes 60 days to create a habit. It takes 90 days to create a lifestyle. That lifestyle has changed now. It's complacency and really not taking action and not doing anything about some of the things that are happening with their accounts or with the world, right? So let's inspire people to get started today. Text the word INVEST to the number 484848 for 2 tickets for this class and the free stock picks. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We will be right back.